Hi, I'm Sarah Ross from Erie County Economic Development Corporation. Today, I'm representing the Erie County Business Advisory Council. In Erie County, we know that workforce is a shared regional asset, so we've collaborated with 48 local partners on this Business Advisory Council. Our partners in the council include all Erie County school districts, as well as private businesses and community organizations. And the Business Advisory Council's vision is to empower businesses, students, and communities so their futures can thrive together. Today is the next installment of our Explore Your Future series. This is our virtual career exploration program. We're hoping to give students a closer look at the industries that exist locally. Today, we'll hear from Bettcher Industries in Birmingham outside of Vermillion. We hope that you get to know a little bit about Bettcher, its leaders and young professionals, and maybe how you can break into that industry. After the video, don't forget to click the link in the description below to submit your attendance to your teacher. So join me as we talk to Bettcher Industries, and now I'll hand it over to Ed from Bettcher, who will share a video about the company.
Here's our short branding video.
Bettcher Industries is a leading developer and manufacturer of tools used in the food processing business. Our powered cutting tools are used to trim fat, recover lean meat, and remove bones from various cuts of meat. Employee-owned, Bettcher Industries is helping to feed the world by improving our customers' production and making the tasks of their jobs easier and safer. Headquartered at its landmark iconic building right off the Ohio Turnpike, at Bettcher Industries, we know that by serving our customers, we're helping to feed the world.
Hi, I'm Ryan Bixler, HR Generalist at Bettcher Industries. I've been with the company about 3 years, and it has been a pleasure the entire time working here. Very interesting, something you've never really thought about is after the animal gets slaughtered and before it goes to the butcher, kind of what happens during that process. And it's been very eye-opening over the last 3 years of really learning about the whole food chain and how all of the all the processing occurs. Bettcher Industries, as the video said, was founded in 1944, and we are that big red barn right off the Ohio Turnpike. If you're heading from Cleveland to Toledo, it's very well known, but not too many people know what we do inside of the building. We manufacture parts that process meat. So we have a blade that essentially it's a round blade that spins around and trims fat and also meat off of the bone of cows, pigs, and chickens. So pretty much if you've ever eaten any meat, the Bettcher blade has probably been inside in that process somehow. We were founded, like I said, 1944 by Mr. Lewis Bettcher in the stockyards near downtown Cleveland, and moved out to Birmingham, Ohio in the 70s. And Mr. Larry Bettcher took over the company from his father around that time. We have about 400 people total across the entire organization. So that's also including down in Georgia. We have a poultry group that makes poultry processing equipment. And then here in Ohio, we have Bettcher Industries, and then just down the street from us is Exerco, who makes a blade that is essentially the same as the Bettcher blade, but it takes a thin layer of skin, so for skin grafts. So if someone's burnt and needs the skin, the dead skin removed, and then the new skin laid over that wound, one of our companies does that, and that's just right down the street from us. Like I said, we're over 400 people in the organization, and yes, we're a manufacturing company, but we're not just manufacturing. We have every job from, I'm HR, Ed's HR. Ed Steele, who we'll be talking in a little bit, is an engineer. We have other engineers. We have someone in safety that will be talking. So we have many different jobs across the organization that really, what we look for is really good people with high values and that want to come to work and do a good job and work hard. So with that, I'll pass it on.
All right, how's it going? My name is Rosario Palmero. I am a designer with the production engineering team at Bettcher Industries. I had started with Bettcher back in January of 2016. I was originally introduced to Bettcher by my co-op advisor at Cleveland State University. I joined on as a co-op. I did 3 rotations with the company. Absolutely loved it there. So much that to this day I make an hour drive every morning and an hour drive home. Even though I can work many places closer or move closer at some point, I fell in love with Bettcher when I started with my co-op. I eventually moved on to become a private contractor for a small period in time, up until Bettcher hired me to work with the production engineering team. I am continuing my schooling on my off time, and I do need to finish my degree for engineering, but it was an excellent opportunity to get my foot in the door and stay with the company. But being at Bettcher, I've learned a massive amount over the last 4 years and a few months now, mainly because of what our team does. When I describe to somebody that asks what I do, I often describe it as we are the ER of the manufacturing at Bettcher. We work with planning, we work with sourcing, we work with marketing, we work with manufacturing floor, we deal with regulatory bodies, anything that is related to producing a product and getting it shipped out the door, our team tackles. We spend a lot of time trying to improve processes. We spend a lot of time trying to improve parts. We get out into the actual field. We talk with our customers. We talk with our regional managers. We gather as much information as we can, and we constantly learn about the industry. If there's one thing I could say is that nobody ever knows it all. So one of the most important tricks you can learn in life is how to learn. And that's what we do all day. We are constantly learning. I'm learning from planning, learning from sourcing, learning from marketing. And you expand your job. And Bettcher really encourages anybody that walks through the door to do the same. So, the tenacity that Bettcher had combined with the tenacity that I had really helped me develop into a good career so far, I would say. But yeah, I have to praise Bettcher. It really is an incredible company to work for. The amount that I've learned, I would say, is equivalent, if not more, than what I learned in school. But I can't deny what I learned in school because I wouldn't have been able to bring it in with me if I didn't know it to begin with. But yeah, working for Bettcher is great. Been having a good time so far, and I encourage everybody to get out, explore manufacturing. I'd say explore engineering. I may be a little bit biased, but explore marketing, explore human resources, explore management. Even though, like Ryan said, we're a manufacturing company, we encapsulate it all. There's so much more than manufacturing that goes on within the building. And if you have the opportunity to get into a co-op program or a shadow program, I highly recommend reaching out to Bettcher because we are all about those programs, and then bringing the young generations in and getting them introduced and trying to help you guys figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. So with that note, we'll pass it on.
Hello, my name is Kevin Turton, and I'm a machinist here at Bettcher Industries. I started here in 1997, and I left in 2000. I came back in 2003, and I've been here ever since. My father actually retired from here. He had 44 years in, and that's how I ended up coming here. I started in grinding, and since I've been back, I finally got into the machine shop, and I've gotten into the apprenticeship program. And I finished my schooling, and I'm working on my journeyman's card. I would say every day I learn something new at work. Starting and grinding and getting over to the machine shop side, there's so much to learn. Schooling helped, but a lot of it is doing the same jobs every day or different jobs every day. We have a lot of different stuff we run here. People come from other factories and work here, and sometimes we wonder what did they do at their last job because what we do here is so different, I guess. and we learn every day. It's a great place to work. And this is probably, if you're young and you want to get into machining or something like that, it's probably a good time to do it because a lot of the older guys are retiring. So you can get your foot in the door, you could probably get a good career and probably do it for a long time. And like us, people are not working right now and we're working. So this is a great place to be. I would recommend anybody to put an application in if you're interested and see what you could do here.
Thanks. Karina?
All righty. So I have a little mini presentation. So I'm going to share my screen. If I can figure out how to do this. I'm used to Microsoft Teams. All right. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah, put it into presentation mode.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, so hi everybody. My name is Karina Weed. I am the Environmental Health and Safety Co-op for Bettcher Industries. I started in January and I actually just extended my co-op program until August of this year. So I work very closely with our EHS manager. I'm going to kind of go over some of the things that an EHS professional may do and some of the things that I'm kind of involved in during my time here at Bettcher. So overall, the kind of the goal of an EHS professional is to support departments in your workplace to kind of help protect the safety and health of employees, the general public, and the environment. And so we do this through multiple ways. So I'm going to kind of list some of the things, some examples of things that we work on. So we do safety training and education. So for example, I've been involved in training the new co-ops that just started this summer in basic EHS information, emergency plans, any personal protective equipment they may need to wear on the production floor, like safety boots and safety glasses. So this is very important in improving the safety of our employees. Incident investigation. So for example, if there's a employee that gets injured, which our biggest thing that we manufacture is round knife blades. So sometimes people get cut on the blades, but we have them fill out incident reports, and we really investigate into the how and why an incident may happen so we can prevent reoccurrence, because we don't want a similar incident to happen again. We do regulatory compliance. So basically that's just so the Environmental Protection Agency and Occupational Safety and Health Administration, agencies like them, they create state and federal regulations that we have to follow. So we kind of read on those and make sure we're following all the regulations that apply to our operations. Safety meetings. So we have an EHS committee here at Bettcher, which involves representatives from multiple departments in the company. And this is an opportunity for us to kind of highlight some EHS concerns that departments may have and how we may fix and improve on those. And at all times, we're looking for safety and environmental improvements we can make in the workplace. So for example, if someone's dealing with a hazardous chemical, we look into what kind of personal protective equipment they may need, such as gloves or other protective clothing and whatnot. So, or maybe even working with the engineering department to see if there's a way we can put in some engineering controls to prevent employee exposure to the hazard. Environmental sustainability is another pillar of EHS. So every year we try to see, how can we increase our sustainability efforts? This past spring, I looked into all the materials we recycled from 2019 and found out we're actually recycling about 246 tons of material just last year. So that's really, really great. That included everything from cardboard to scrap metal, like mixed office paper. So pretty impressive. And then I put plus more because being in the EHS field, sometimes you just don't know. Every day is different. You might be working on something different each day. So for example, you know, the whole coronavirus situation has been very interesting being involved in EHS. There was one day, you know, I went to each conference room and measured out the tables and tried to see, okay, you know, when people come back from work, because they've been working from home, you know, how many people can we have in each conference room to make sure they're maintaining that 6-foot social distance? And so we put diagrams on the doors to kind of guide them, to make sure, you know, they're limiting their exposure to potential exposure to the coronavirus. So a little bit about my background. So for an EHS professional, I would say get your bachelor's in occupational safety or environmental health or something similar. I got my bachelor's in environmental science from Bowling Green State University. I did multiple internships in my undergrad, so I highly, highly recommend you to do internships or co-op programs to get that experience underneath your belt. It builds up your resume. You can network with lots of people. Even people who aren't in your field, still network with them because they might know somebody in the field that you're interested in. So I took a couple years off after I graduated from BG to really kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I did talk to, and this is why I say about networking, I have a mutual friend who's an EHS manager out in Menor, Ohio. So she recommended environmental health and safety management program at University of Findlay. So I decided to go and get my master's starting in August last year. So it's a really, really great program. And I would say EHS is a really, really great field because it has a really great job outlook. There's lots of opportunities, and I think companies are more and more trying to hire EHS managers to ensure they're protecting their employee safety and health, as well as ensuring that regulatory compliance. So, this chicken is actually above my cubicle. So I thought that was the first thing I noticed when I walked into Bettcher, and I love it because the Bettcher has such an awesome theme. It really goes along with that meat processing. I've heard from people that, you know, the outside of Bettcher kind of looks like the Bob Evans headquarters, which I kind of agree with. It's funny. So, and I kind of say it's on the inside, it almost looks like a Cracker Barrel because it's got all these old tractors and stuff above the cubicles. But yeah, this chicken's my buddy. So, and then this is a picture of myself with a co-op who was in the spring. She was an engineering co-op. She was actually my roommate for the apartment that Bettcher provided to us. And they paid for rent and utilities, which is really awesome and shows that they really care about the co-ops here. So, but this is from the Vermilion Ice Festival. This is the pig that Bettcher sponsored. So it's really cool. But overall, what I like about Bettcher, everyone's been so nice and eager to help if I need help. I've never met a mean spirit at Bettcher. It's just everyone's very, very willing to help out. And it's really, really awesome being able to work kind of with all different departments here. EHS, I thought first was mostly just you work in EHS and you work in one department, but no, it's more interdepartmental. So I work with people in engineering and purchasing and maintenance, production. So it's really awesome getting able to talk to multiple people in the company. So with that, I'll pass it on to, I think it's Joel. Let me stop sharing my screen first. Hold on one second. There we go.
Okay, I'm Joel Hall. I'm the Senior Manager of Product Engineering here at Bettcher. I'm fortunate to have Rosario on my team, and I'm lucky enough to work with everybody on this call right now. So what I'm going to do today is share some interesting facts about the meat industry, in which we are a huge part of with this tool right here. If we were in person, I usually hand these around. I pass these around. So this is the smaller size, and this is the larger size. So some interesting facts for you that there's only 3 countries in the world that produce over 100 million metric tons of meat a year, and that's China, the USA, and Brazil in that order. And what's interesting about China is even after the African swine fever really impacted them big time, they produce as much pork as the next 5 countries combined. So they're big. They're big. And of course, we have a presence there. The USA produces 1.5 times the amount of beef as Brazil, who's the second highest producer, with only half the cattle. And that's kind of perplexing, but the reason for that is that our cows are bigger and they calf more frequently. So there's more going on there. Globally, per capita, meat consumption has grown at a rate of 0.9 pounds per year for each person over the last 50 years. So that's a pretty interesting trend for meat. The top 20 meat producing countries in the world, they produce over 80% of the total meat of the whole world. And finally, the last fact I have to share for you is in the US, the top 6 meat producers account for over 80% of the meat produced here. And obviously, they're all our valued customers.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ed Steele. I'm the Vice President of Operations here at Bettcher. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to our story and all the information everybody has had to share here. Just a little bit of background about myself is I am a graduate of The Ohio State University all the way back in 1990 with a Bachelor's of Science degree in electrical engineering. Then I'm also a graduate of the University of Cincinnati. I got my MBA some 28 years later after I graduated from Ohio State. So I've been with Bettcher since 2012, and currently I'm responsible for engineering, manufacturing engineering, supply chain planning, production, and quality. So you've listened to everybody tell you, the background of our company, our industry, what we participate in, and how good of a workforce we have here. So I'm here to really kind of take the approach of what advice would I give a high school student. I think they picked the oldest person to give this part of the talk, so that would be me. I was trying to do the math and realized that in August I will be in industry, manufacturing industry, 30 years now. So it goes by quick. I'll start by saying that much. So as you approach your graduation and think about the next steps, I guess there's just some advice I'd give you is the following. Enter your next phase of your life with an open mind. You're going to have a lot of people telling you what they think you should be. What you need to ultimately decide is what you want to be. And that may take some time. It may not come to you right away. It could be a process. Whether it's college, a tech trade, or going directly into the workforce, I say go into that with an open mind, and it's okay to be undecided. I do have 3 sons. All 3 are one is graduated college, and 2 are actively in college, or 2 are in college, and they all went in with the idea that they thought they knew what they were going to be, and they've all decided to go do something else. Matter of fact, my 2 older sons changed their major at least 3 times. My younger son decided after his first year at Cleveland State that college is not for him right now, and he's looking to enter the trade. So it's okay to be wrong, and you have time to make changes, and don't think that you have to be perfect right from the get-go. What I'd say is whatever you decide, and the best way to do it is try to pick something that you think is going to wake you up with enthusiasm for the next 40 years, because you can always change it. You don't want to pursue what you think pays the most. What you want to do is decide, what are you passionate about? What is of interest to you, and make it a career and not a job. I will say that you don't have to be the smartest. My advice that I've always given is you don't have to be the smartest, just don't let anybody outwork you. I would say that I was a B student. I was not a straight A student, wasn't even close to that. So, but what I do feel like that has served me well is just putting in a hard day's work every day and going above and beyond what I think is necessary for the success of the organization. The other thing I would tell you is, as you think about your next career and entering the workforce, is if you're not willing to personally sacrifice, you may have picked the wrong career. And what I mean by personally sacrificing is it kind of ties in with that, don't let anybody outwork you. You know, if you're not willing to forego a weekend, if you're not willing to, you know, miss a holiday, if you're not willing to miss a birthday, then you may have not picked the right career for yourself. You know, you will be best served by, if you're so passionate that you're willing to personally sacrifice something, then you've probably picked the right direction. Then lastly, I'll leave you with this. Do a great job and everything takes care of itself. And what I mean by that is, you know, throughout my career, I've encountered people who are more interested in their next promotion and they're more interested in their next pay raise, and that consumed their thought rather than the task at hand. I found it with myself that if you just do a great job, the rest of that just falls into place. You don't have to ask for it; you get noticed. It's the advice I've given my sons, and I've given many people is you know, dedicate yourself to the company and their pursuit of their business, and things will fall into place, and you don't have to worry about that next promotion, that next raise, that next anything. Usually it'll come your way. So with that, I wish you luck. You know, you've heard from our associates about Bettcher Industries, you know, everything from co-ops to our manufacturing associates, to our engineers. I think we provide a you know, good product for a good industry and serve this this area. So I wish you well in your career. Good luck. Let us know if we could ever be of assistance to you.
Thank you, Ed, and thank you, everyone. It's been a real pleasure hearing about Bettcher, a major international company, the variety of different roles and backgrounds, whether it be through co-ops, apprenticeships, college, many paths, and then also especially kind of what you guys look for in your workforce. I know values were mentioned, hardworking, as you said, and willingness to learn, as Rosario said. So we really appreciate that insight. I want to thank Bettcher again for this contribution on behalf of the Business Advisory Council, and thank you students and teachers for tuning in. Don't forget to click the link to let us know you were here, and we hope to hear from you soon.